Good morning and welcome to Juneau, Alaska. I am solo dolo this morning. Jessica wasn't feeling well, so I am embarking on my own adventure all by myself. So this morning we are headed to the Mendenhall Glacier and we're going to take the gardens tour. So I have about 20 minutes before my bus leaves, so I just wanted to check in with you guys and let you guys know what we're going to be doing today. So it's going to be the Mendenhall Glacier and the gardens tour. I made sure I put on layers and I got my jacket on, but it's a little crisp in the air, but it's not too bad. I got my gloves and my hat inside my bag. Let me move out of the way here. But we are downtown Juneau. I guess this would be called downtown or town. But we're excited. I'm excited. I hate that I'm doing this solo because I really wish my sister was here, but I'm gonna get really good footage for her, and I'm praying for healing for her, that God go ahead and just bless her and grant her with the healing that she needs so she can enjoy the remainder of our Alaska cruise. So here's downtown Juneau. There's everyone waiting for their shore excursion to depart. But mine doesn't depart until 7:40. I got 20 minutes left. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's not too cold. I thought it was colder than it actually is, so I'll be fine. In this coat, if I get too warm, I can actually just put it back in a bag. I can stuff it back in the bag, so it's all good. So Juneau, Alaska, here we come. Hey family, in Juneau, Alaska, waiting for my excursion. About to go see the Mendenhall Glacier and take a gardens tour. But this is Juneau, Alaska. I'm waiting. Jessica is not feeling well, so she is having breakfast and probably gonna go get back in the bed. Juneau, Alaska.
Downtown, this is just a bunch of jewelry stores. Downtown is kind of over here on the left of us. It's the main street marked by the Red Dog Saloon. And that actually is a famous Juneau landmark, so I like to recommend the Red Dog. It's been here in some way, shape, or form ever since the very early days of Juneau. Back when Juneau was just a small gold mining town, and the Red Dog Saloon actually used to service the miners when they were coming home from work. Nowadays, of course, it's illegal to serve alcohol to miners. I know, sorry, set your expectations low. Oh, I'm doing very well. Let me point out a couple of government buildings. As you go up here, you're going to see our state capitol building, and I'll point out a couple of other ones for you too. Straight in front of us is actually our city hall with a nice little mural on the side. That mural is the Nugget creation story. And then as we're going up through this intersection under the traffic light up here, well, now it's going to turn yellow, but when we go through there, we're going to look down to the right. On the end of the street is a big brown building with two flags on it, and that is the state capitol of Alaska. Our being that we are the state capital, the city, Juneau's biggest industry is actually government. So gold mining is how we got started, and mining and fishing, logging, and those are all very big, but government is our biggest one. Tourism now is big. You see the big brown building on the right with the two flags on top? So that's the capital of the state of Alaska. It was actually voted the 49th prettiest capitol building in the United States. That was a real poll too. For a couple of years we were dead last. Let's see, to the right over here we have this big building is the state office building. We call that the SOB. State office building. And then I'll point out one more. So on the right here you're going to see on the hill there's a big white mansion with pillars on the front, right up there. And that's the governor's mansion. So the governor of Alaska lives right there. And I was gonna say, no, that's not Russia. They're across the channel. That's just Douglas Island. I'm not sure if people still get that.
Yeah.
Okay. It's been a while. Now we're kind of lucky because it's a bit of a low tide. That's nice. It means we have a good chance of seeing some bald eagles. When it's a low tide, they like to sit out there. They're going to sit in the mud and the sandbars. They're digging for clams. They're looking for fish that get caught in the low tide. So there's a pretty high chance of seeing some bald eagles, given that it's low tide and it's pretty cool. The conditions are pretty good. I never want to promise anything. Sometimes I don't really see any, but I think that there's a pretty high chance. I'll mainly be keeping my eyes on the road, of course, but I have developed a little bit of an eagle eye, so I know a couple of places to look. And if you guys see some bald eagles, feel free to point them out, point and shout, because it'll be kind of like a game of I Spy. Look at this, by the way. See on the right? Look at that little lawnmower robot. You guys see that? I don't know if I was going went by a little quickly, but there's a little lawnmower robot that I just like pointing out at our high school here. Alright, well this body of water here to the left of us, that's what separates us from Douglas Island, and that is called the Juneau Channel. What's interesting about the channel here is that we have a tidal difference of 23 feet. And so what that means is that that's the difference between high and low tide. So it's a very rapid tide. It goes at a rate of 2 or 3 feet per hour. And basically that means about 2 full cycles a day. And so if you were going to go right now, when it's a low tide and stand on the shore, if you just stayed there and you didn't move by high tide, you'd be standing under 23 feet of water. It's a very, very big tide. This is kind of nice too, because now that it's low like this, it's going to be a noticeable difference. We're probably going to see a major difference here when we're coming back. It'll be a high tide, and you won't see any of this sandbars or little islands or anything. Just a very different landscape. This is also nice. We're going to pass in front of our salmon hatchery in a minute, and a lot of times this is a good place to spot some harbor seals. We're going to see right now. I do believe they're out. So our salmon hatchery is this gray building with the red roof, kind of down there right in front of us. And if you look out on these islands, oh yeah, I see them. So there's a little sandy island kind of next to a little green buoy, and if you look on there, you're going to see some harbor seals. They like to take naps there on the little islands during low tide, and they hang out in front of our salmon hatchery because it's a good place to get a quick meal. Yeah, you guys, those harbor seals there, I know those seals look cute and cuddly right now, but 6 of those things took out Osama bin Laden. See some of them. If you ever see the seals doing what's called the banana pose, it's where they put their tail and their head up and they sit like a banana. And that means that they're happy. It's kind of like a cat purring. Now our hatchery, by the way, that's this building we're just passing by. It's a very important part of Juneau. It's a little different from like a fish farm. So a salmon hatchery, what they do is they'll raise them, instead of raising them and then processing them for food, they raise them to a certain point and then they release them into the wild. And it's because they have a much higher survival rate than they do in the wild, and that way we can have a little bit more control over replenishing the salmon population after people go after all the fishing and everything. And so yeah, they release them into the wild, and they're going to swim out into the ocean. Depending on the kind of salmon, they might be out there from 5 to 7 years, and then they decide to spawn and they'll swim back. The thing is, some of them are geotagged. They'll actually swim out. They've tracked some of them swimming out as far as Japan. So they swim all across the entire Pacific Ocean, and then they'll smell their way back up the channel, all the way from Japan. They'll smell their way back here and then up the fish ladder at the hatchery where they'll lay their eggs. And then after that, that's the end of their life cycle, so they'll die. And then they use the salmon's bodies. They send them to canneries where they make dog food and cat food, sometimes baby food. No, just not the baby food, but dog food. Out here on the left, by the way, just since it's a low tide right now, this place is almost looks like you can just walk across. There's definitely some bald eagles out there though. They almost look like little stumps, but I've seen a couple now. If you look out there on the tide, I see a few bald eagles there. Sometimes it's almost like you're looking for a stump with a golf ball on top. And then sometimes it almost doesn't. It almost just looks like a stump because they're the young ones are brown or gray with kind of a speckled pattern. But I promise you, there's no stumps out there. So if you see some stumps, that's probably an eagle. Well, there might be some stumps. But that's just driftwood. Also, all those white birds. Many of those are seagulls, but what we also have here mixed in with the seagulls is a lot of Arctic terns. And Arctic terns are, they actually have one of the longest migration paths of any bird in the world. They go all the way from the North Pole to the South Pole. Oh yeah, like, here's some bald eagles. If you see, there's a little fallen log right there in the middle. There's like a tree, and there's probably like 8 or 9 of them sitting on that tree. Oh yeah? Oh, you went on the rafting tour, huh?
Oh, I bet we saw 50.
Oh yeah. I mean, and sometimes you see it.
Or more.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Was that the rafting tour? Where was that? Skagway? Oh, okay.
Actually, in Haynes, I think.
Oh, in Maine. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, it took us an hour and a half to get there, so we went by boat and then we went by bus. 45 minutes each time.
Wow. So yeah, that is a far journey. I've never actually been to Haynes myself. We do rafting trips here though too. Oh, hey, look at this. We got a bald eagle on the right side. See on the light post here? We're gonna pass right by it. Yeah, sitting right up there. Yeah, it's a good bald eagle. You know, that bald eagle actually is a famous one. That's the bald eagle that posed for the U.S. passport many years ago.